All right, so here we are at the Konifir Truffiere. As you can see, pretty much not a very traditional Truffiere in any sense of the word. You don't see the typical, down the row trees like you would in a normal Truffiere. This is what I would consider a wild Truffiere, so it's really just a forest. You can tell in this section of the property there's a lot of different species of trees, so it's a mixed forest. There's some maple, there's some Douglas fir, of course, which is the main tree we try to look for in truffle productive forests. There's also some cedar, and then some other other trees and bushes and things like that, like huckleberries, and there's like some wild rose bushes through here and stuff like that. But I chose this area for this experiment that I'm doing with regards to Garry Oaks, which is this tree right here. It's a Garry Oak. It is the only native oak tree to the Pacific Northwest. I got these Garry Oaks from a company called Alpine Truffle Company. The company is owned by Aziz, who is a biologist and a researcher. He's also a professor at the University of Washington and at Evergreen State College, which Evergreen State is where I'm going to work on my mycology certification. But I bought 15 of these Garry Oaks from Alpine Truffle Company. They are all confirmed inoculated with Leucangium Cascadiense. That is the Washington black truffle mycelium. The mycorrhizae has been seen on the roots of these trees, these saplings, so they're confirmed. I put them in these pots when I first got them. I got them at the beginning of summer, and I put them in these pots so that I could actually keep them in my backyard so they get the maximum sun. I also can keep track of their watering during the dry season of the summer. So I'm beginning to put them in the property now because, of course, now we're in fall, it's cooler weather. This is when trees go into dormancy. I don't know if it's easy to see, maybe not from this particular tree, but you can kind of see maybe there's some yellowing, there's some browning on the edges here. So this tree is already starting to take the nutrients from the leaves and bring it back into the trunk, into the roots. So for me, this is a good time for me to do a transplant so that it doesn't stress out the tree too much. And also because there is mycelium in this pot, I also don't want to stress out the roots, which then can stress out that symbiotic relationship between the mycelium and the roots of the tree and stuff like that. So I don't know. In my opinion, and this might be shared, amongst our community, but I feel like this is probably the best time to go ahead and do a transplant into the property. So what I was going to before, I was talking about there's lots of ferns here. So I actually picked this spot specifically because there was a lot of ferns. Now, I removed a lot of ferns. I took, like, through this open area here, this was actually all ferns here. This was completely ferns. I actually did a lot of work, removed a lot of ferns so that I can make some nice open areas so that these trees can thrive with nice open area, aerated. I aerated the soil here, made it really loose. Took all the weeds, everything out so that there's no competition for nutrients, for the roots and the mycelium. So I did everything that I could to give these trees a good start. But I picked this area with ferns because a lot of the places that I have gone to that have our native truffles there's ferns there. I mean, you have the Douglas firs, which are the main trees that are symbiotic with these species of truffle. But I also always find ferns. There are always ferns there. And I will also find truffles embedded in the root ball of ferns. It happens actually quite often. It's not rare. It happens quite often that I'll find a truffle right next to the base of a fern or even embedded in the roots of a fern. So I feel as though ferns are important, for the soil composition, pH, all the stuff that's involved in, these truffles and their success. I will, after I get all these trees planted, I have 15 trees, then I'll section off different areas of trees and do different experiments, which I'll probably post at another time. But like one section of trees, I'm going to add something like lime so that I can raise the pH, make it a little bit more alkaline, which for some European species of truffle, they do really well in. But I'm going to test and experiment on a few of the trees and see if that does anything. I'll do another group of trees where I will reintroduce truffle spores, and other trees where I don't introduce truffle spores a couple years from now. So this project is really going to be like 5 or 6 years in. It's going to be over years, but I want to see how pH changes, if anything. I want to see if adding spores at another time does anything. Nothing may happen with any of these. There hasn't been much success in terms of cultivating Leucangium Cascadiense with Garry Oaks, with oaks. So this will, it could just be that if I don't see any results, it's not any of these other factors. It could just be that it's just the Garry Oak. And not a Douglas fir that I'm doing this with. But, we're going to see what happens. And I there's other things I'll be doing where I will be using Douglas firs and not just Garry Oaks. So this is just one of the many things I'm going to be doing. So in any case, let's go ahead and get started digging here. And you all can join me along the way here. So as I dig through here, I do come across roots, of course, from other plants around here. It could be from the cedar that's over here. It could be from that tree over there, how far their roots go. So I'm of course, as I'm digging this hole, I'm kind of pulling out, roots and discarding them. I'm trying to make the diameter much bigger than what the tree actually needs because I want to get these roots back, because I don't want competition. I want to make sure that that this tree has plenty of loose soil, oxygen, minerals, other things that the roots and that the mycelium can take advantage of. So I want to make sure that this is very well loosened up. And actually there aren't that many really big roots in here, so that's kind of nice. A lot of rocks though, but rocks like these are actually kind of good because as the roots of the tree grow underground, they use rocks like this as anchors. Plus it allows oxygen and to kind of go around it, so the soil doesn't compact too much. Okay, so I think this hole might be pretty good. So I like to make really loose soil at the bottom too, so that when I place the tree in here, it has nice loose soil underneath it as well, so the taproot can easily make its way down. Next spring when it starts growing again, I put some rocks down here and all that good stuff, good drainage, good anchors, all that kind of stuff. Again, I want good success for the tree. So here we got our tree. I also got a little tag here that says what truffle species it is. I probably won't need these on there after all. I mean, I kind of know what they are. Okay, here we go. Be careful. There'll be some soil that will come out, of course. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Okay, be careful. Okay, so you can kind of see, look at all the roots going on there. Of course, without my glasses, I'm seriously blind here. It's not like I'm trying to look for mycelium and see if I can see any. Mycelium is usually whitish. You'll see the white. But yeah, okay. So we're going to put this down right in there, just about right. Just put a little bit of twist and pressure just so the bottom kind of settles in there. Okay, perfect. All right, and we're just going to kind of throw the soil. Okay, perfect. And then kind of what I like to do is take like some of this duff and just kind of, I don't know, sprinkle it around a little bit. Just kind of try to give a little bit of coverage. Some weeds. Always random stuff. I pull out all the time. Unfortunately, it's just part of having an undeveloped property like this, is that a lot of the stuff that's in this forest has been here for years without any sort of, it has not been disturbed in 10 years, 20 years, however long. So, you know, now I'm disturbing it. And yeah, there's roots that go way down. Okay, so that looks about done. So the soil around this is pretty loose. It loosed down pretty deep. So next spring, when the tree is starting to grow again, the roots should have some space to do that. The mycelium should feel comfortable, be able to spread out. Now, I will say, again, because this isn't really controlled very well, there's absolutely going to be other mycelium from other fungus in this soil. So other mushrooms, other types of fungus, like it's already in this soil. In fact, a lot of the soil that I took out, I already noticed. I saw the white filaments from the mycelium from some other fungus. So that's in this soil. So again, there's going to be competition between roots, between other fungus. So the hope is that because I've prepped this, that I've tried to make this as welcoming for the tree as possible, that it will increase the survival of not just the tree, but also the mycelium as well. So we'll see. In any case, I hope you enjoyed watching this and seeing what I'm doing here at the property. If you can see, there's a couple other trees that I have over there, but I'm going to do 15 of these. They're going to kind of go all the way around, and we'll see how they, again, 5 years, 7 years from now, we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows? It could be earlier than 5 years. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching.